Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So, I've got a very weird technical problem today, but I'm just gonna, you may not be able to tell, but I'll just work around it. So, my tablet is not letting me actually write on the screen that's there. It's working as a tablet, but the cursor is on another monitor. So, I basically have a very old style, very primitive version of what I'm usually using. So sorry about that. Should be okay. I think this stream should go okay without it. And let me know. Hey Joe. Hey Cat Queen. How's it going? So I'm actually drawing on the window that's open with the Streamlabs and everything in it, but it's showing up in Photoshop up here. So it's just gonna have to do because I started streaming already, and before I realized it wasn't going to cooperate. So I think it's just a driver issue. I need to restart. The computer was acting weird. I was doing some pretty heavy duty video editing on it, and it was getting really slow under all the the pressure. I hate that about Premiere. As your projects get bigger and you're including more assets and stuff, by the end, when you're the most tired and kind of the most, you're moving slowest, the software is also moving very slowly. So it's it becomes, it kind of duplicates the frustration. It compounds the your tiredness and the speed of everything. But I got through it, so that's going to premiere. I think it's just going to do Saturday night because Friday won't work this time. So it's good. So it took about 2 months, 2 months to do that video, but it's going to be the end of the kind of storyline, the main timeline of that Mutant Chronicles. So follow Idle Red Hands if you want to take a look at that and watch. It's like 23 and a half minutes. Oof. And a ton of assets. It was, it's so much stuff because it's the end of the storyline. The last scene, I just kind of flash back through a bunch of the things that have happened along the story through the timeline, and so I had to dig for some old assets that I used for showing the terraforming and all the early planet stuff. Oh, it's weird to draw. It's weird to not look at the monitor, not look where my pen is. This is very old school. Because you can get the tiny little cheap Wacom tablets, like the bamboo or the little tablets, and so you're drawing on the table, but you're looking up at the monitor. That's what I'm doing now because of my Windows failure, Windows driver failure. I've just got an HP. It's I just picked up a kind of a bargain during the lockdown. I think it's just an i7 with it's a newer RTX card, not a 3000, like a 20. I think it's a 2080 RTX, and a decent amount of RAM. It was just kind of a stock version, but really cheap. I think the online shops in Japan figured out they can unload all of their stock PCs during the lockdown because people were buying up everything, to be able to work from home. So there's some pretty good deals. It's tiny. It's nice because it's like a mini tower. The previous stuff I had were the Japanese Galleria series. So it's a what's the name of that company? But it was a domestic Japanese PC builder, and they did an amazing job. If you've ever built a PC or like you just opened one up, the Japanese built one was so like meticulously. All the bundles of wires ran at these perfect angles, and everything was zip tied just perfectly. It was so amazing how they compared to the cheap built in wherever Foxconn or whatever, the cheap built series of PCs I had before. It was amazing to see how carefully it was put together, so that yeah, I definitely felt the difference. And that one lasted forever. That was like 10 years. But it was a huge. So why I brought it up is it was a really huge like steel box, just kind of tower. So this is a tiny kind of mini tower. So not much expansion, but I'm not gonna need it to do anything other than just video editing and stuff. I guess I can. It'll do PC gaming okay. It's got enough RAM and everything, but yeah, the priority was to get something that ran Premiere well. And it's got a solid state. The C drive is a solid state drive, so it's a little snappier. Like startup and everything is nice and quick, which is good. All right. Yeah, this is gonna. I think it's gonna affect the artwork a little bit. I'm a little. It's a little wiggly when I'm not drawing directly on the tablet. It's strange. I haven't done that. I haven't drawn and like looked up for a long time because the monitors, the Cintiq and the monitors where the tablet is also, has an image. The tablet is also a monitor basically. Those were relatively new compared to how long the touch tablets have been out. There we go. Oh yeah. I should. It was pretty. I mean, it was more than twice what I had on the I mean, that was a pretty old PC, but it was more than twice what I had before. But I think it was kind of scratch disk stuff that I was running into when it was slowing down. Oops, that's not the eraser I want. That always seems to be the case, and Adobe's really bad at that. I think that's because they started making stuff originally, for Mac, like natively for Macs, the PowerPC Macs. But yeah, once the scratch disks start to get a bunch of temp files on them, it really starts to slow down the show. And I could, a normal person, a person that is thinking well and working well, would stop, clear caches, do a restart, and kind of get back to a better working condition. But I just get to that state when I'm working on a long project. I get to the state where you can see the finish line, and it's just like, just go. So there probably are better ways to handle the slowdown. But once you've got momentum going, it feels like you taking any break is going to totally derail the process, and you're not going to be able to finish. Yeah, a lot of the editing work and stuff is, for me, it feels a lot about momentum, because when it's creative. Editing is, creative. You're making like aesthetic decisions and timing decisions and things, but it's also just a lot of dragging things in and moving things around. So there's a lot of labor to it as well. So when I get in that state, I just want to get finished. When I'm not like creating anymore, I'm just like, okay, I got all the pieces, I just got to assemble them and make them, make the timing work with the music and the voiceover and stuff. It's more kind of repetitive. It's more like factory work than it is creative at that point. But that's not to say there's not a lot of creativity in editing, but what I'm doing is not exactly high end filmmaking. Oh yeah, nice. Oh, very cool, Joe. Yeah, hiding those cables is yeah, I'd never seen that before, because I bought cheap PCs from Fry's, cheap like Chinese built PCs from Fry's Electronics in LA. So yeah, I'd only seen the worst possible. So seeing the Japanese build was like, yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, very cool. Yeah, I would imagine too. Yeah, a lot of people building their own stuff can do that as well. They can put the TLC in there that you're not going to do when you're assembling like 1,000 computers a day. I can't even imagine, what the numbers are for someone that works in one of those, factories like Taiwan or China, just putting a piece of something in all day. All right, I'm having trouble getting the angle when I'm not on the screen. Ugh, when I'm on the screen. The sensitivity is a little off too, I think. But we'll get through this. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I was seeing all the, I don't know if I should even bring this up on Livestream, but the passports, the bad weather cure passports. I don't know the best way to say that, but it's funny that the voter registration or voter ID and passports for something, passports for the poke. What do they call the prick, the poke? What are people calling it now? Are it's the debate is happening at the same time. So we need and we don't need something that identifies us at the same time. But yeah, that's all the news is talking about, and they're talking about that in Japan too. But it's because people comply pretty easily, with things that they think are going to benefit the group. It's not going to be, once it's decided, it's just going to be fine. There's not going to be a lot of pushback here. So the scale of things is not great. All right. So this is, I think, just going to be a large grape jelly with a missing jar of peanut butter. See if I can get this jar looking a little happier and chubbier. All right. Yes, I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know what well is. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be getting out of this. I guess we're going to get that same kind of thing. Well, no, I can't even remember. Like last summer, I thought like things eased up and there was a little bit more. Well, the spring, yeah, that was the big lockdown was the spring last year. So by the summer, when it got really hot and miserable here, people started to come out of it a little bit, and then just the worries for next flu season started. All right, yeah, the drawing is going to be a little wonky today. Yeah, I got to figure out. I stupidly figured that there would be no problem with the driver for the tablet. I've been doing something a little different. Instead of just turning the tablet off, I've been just disconnecting the whole thing. It's got like a big HDMI kind of plug at the top of it. I've been just pulling that off so I can like stick it on the bookshelf and not have this like thing on the wire like leaning against the edge of my desk all the time. And so that might be part of the problem. When I plugged it back in, the driver didn't load. It detected it, but the driver didn't load well. So that's why and it's not something I can fix. I can fix while we're streaming. I suppose I could, but if there's a restart required, that's gonna make it impossible. And that's usually all it is. Anytime you get the really mysterious, why isn't this working? Just a restart, because of how Windows just like loads things in a certain order, and if things conflict, it's just like, what are you gonna do? Try it again. Yeah, I'm drawing more boxes. But yeah, so that's nice. It's nice to finally have, because it's been 2 months that I've been researching and writing that video. It takes forever. I mean, it's nice because it's fun to do, but it really, oof, what a mess. Okay, that's all wrong. It really does take forever to just get the details in order, because you don't want to. It's an older game, and so there's not. It stopped being published in like the late '90s, so a lot of the source stuff is just old scans and things that are floating around the internet. So reading through all of that, I don't even want to. That's what I should actually keep track of, is how many pages I've read to do this whole series of game videos. It's a ton. And if I would have, the funny thing is, if it was like university and it was a research project or something, I would not enjoy it at all. It would just be drudgery, because I was never a good researcher, and I never liked just pouring through histories. But for some reason, with this like stuff that doesn't matter, like game stuff that's just like lighter and more frivolous, it's really fun to find all the sources of what people contributed to this like setting for this game. So that's really funny, my reaction. It might be my age too. Just sitting and digging through old stuff is more fun than it was before. Yeah, I love when you get the old ads for things too. Sometimes when they publish, in magazines or whatever, people scan the magazines and then you get the ads in there as well. So you get to see old 90s magazine ads for comics and comic books and different things. Yeah, that whole 90s like extreme thing is so funny, where they're just like, we're pushing it. This isn't your daddy's whatever. It's always some new X version. That was really it's really fun to see how much of that there was, especially in like advertising to like teens and probably up to university age. There's so much of that. Nice. Yeah, that's a good point. I should look for a new driver. There probably is an updated driver. Yeah, because Windows just updated, so that's probably it. That's where the fun happens. When Windows is just like, listen, we're going to install this update regardless. You want us to do it right now or at 2 a.m. It's gonna happen. One of those happened, so I imagine there's probably a tablet update as well. Yeah, I turned off the ink space or whatever their the thing for their Surface, the software for their Surface touch screens is off now. So that was I think that was the thing I complained about the most in early live streams, is how that ink, I forget what ink space I think it was called, yeah, just kept conflicting with everything I was doing. Would you like me to convert your handwriting into text? No, just let me draw on a tablet that is supposed to be supported by this OS. Yeah, I've definitely gotten much more fond of, and I think it's probably because of that aesthetic of YouTube, is like watching people's videos where they do these deep dive kind of surveys of historical events or different wars or different periods in history. They're really enjoyable to watch. So like thinking about producing those was something that I definitely wanted to start doing, even though it's not real history. Yeah, I'll leave that to the people with degrees. except I would be afraid to enter that world with rabid academics ready to say, yeah, your sources. Because I'm not, I'm not, I think that's why I'm enjoying doing it now, because I'm not citing sources and having to do the whole deal. It's very casual, because I'm just trying to make an entertaining retelling of a story. And I like also to compare, and maybe because it's a more like comparing writers' work. I like reading people's different takes, or how they interpret the same ideas in stories differently. Like the early stuff, like the first edition and the early stuff, as opposed to the later stuff, because always those writers or game designers were influenced by what had become popular or what was released since the previous version. So like when like Warhammer 40K started to become more and more dominant, I think people were reacting to it. Whereas when the game first started, they were kind of on the same, they're kind of on even ground. They'd come out about the same time and had a very similar universe. But then you start, just as in a business way too, probably editors and editors and producers are telling you that this, we want to move this way. We're going to differentiate ourselves. You don't just want to follow behind somebody. You want your thing to stand out. But yeah, it was just, I think I remember, and it was art school, where I was doing research, and I think it was I wanted to do art. I didn't want to, research art. Because I noticed right away the big difference between the historians and the artists. Like, you want to be aware of your context and kind of what came before you. But as far as like in the more historian, the more the sense of a historian is like, finding the influences in like the, political context and things. It's like, yeah, you're more worried about aesthetics. Maybe not anymore. Now everyone's worried about political context. But yeah, that was just the feeling I had younger. I want to do. I don't want to sit back and watch. Yeah, it's really funny though to think how that's changed on YouTube. Because it used to just be, the big documentaries or the big series where, public television in the U.S. and stuff that public television got from, BBC or the Canadian broadcast. So it was pretty limited. But now we have people, citing all kinds of diverse sources, and like Hardcore History, who's the guy that does Hardcore History, like he'll cite sources, and also because he's a historian and writer as well, give his opinion about. So this guy, thinks of it this way, and I don't completely agree, but there's something valuable in this part of what he says. I like that. That kind of live commentary while they're talking about things. All right. Yeah, it's going okay. Hey, Rev, how's it going? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's really funny. The World of Warcraft became a huge influence. Where it was, well, Warcraft originally was just a rip-off, I think a failed contract. I mean, the rumor is, we don't know, nobody's seen the actual contracts or anything. But it was a license that Blizzard was working on to do a Warhammer RTS, and it fell through. And they didn't end up doing it, but they had these assets built, and because the Warhammer fantasy world was just generic fantasy, it's just dwarves, elves, orcs, and things. There's nobody owns that. That's Norse and Celtic mythology, and all Tolkien kind of corralled by Tolkien, so they could just rebranded themselves, and then they made Warcraft. So their attempt to do Warhammer became Warcraft, and it, and like I was saying before, they definitely over time differentiated themselves. The fantasy and like the stylization and everything is less of Warcraft is less gritty. There's something a little bit more fantastic, or kind of more stylized about it, whereas the British, like Warhammer Fantasy, stayed really rough and ugly, more kind of Dark Ages, Europe, and Warcraft had the more. It's not supposed to be derogatory, but more of an Ameritrash, slant to it, where they kind of push things in a kind of silly, stylized way. If it goes up to 10, they'll try to push it up to 11 with how things are, supposed to look, or the characterizations of different races or lands or whatever. But they definitely did better. I mean, but just because they had people have much more awareness of that brand, and then it had influence, like the big thing that people hate about what happened in the 2000s to Dungeons and Dragons, the 4th edition of Dungeons and Dragons, looked at the success of World of Warcraft, the MMO. So this is what everybody's playing. This is everyone's first experience of fantasy. Let's make our game a pen and paper, kind of tabletop game. Let's make that more like Warcraft, World of Warcraft, the MMO, and see if we can get some of this new generation. And people hated it because it was very tactical. It was very things on a grid, kind of more like board game than theater of the mind RPG. So that was very funny. But they're trying to, they shouldn't have chased a trend. They should have figured out, what was missing, or what in that experience you didn't have, like the role-playing aspects and the kind of creating your own world and things, and push that and said, this is the next step. Not, if you like this, you'll also like this, but this is that. If you like this is the evolution, or this is a better version. But it was, by that time, I think, already Hasbro, so I'm sure the decision-making... Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast, which meant that everything was run by a toy company. The same people that sell Transformers and G.I. Joe. Whoa. Now sold Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, K5, how's it going? Oh, K5, you deserve it. I want to give everybody mud, so it can be Battle of the Blue Wrenches. I want people to create their own separate factions, and then you have a banner that you try to unite the members of chat under. And your identity is based on how many minutes you silence people. So there'll be the 5-minute clan versus the 3.5-minute clan. Yeah. Let me know how to if things are becoming unruly. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's always good. I don't want people to feel pressure to be on, to be present, just because they have a blue wrench. So everybody that I kind of feel comfortable with, and I think I have some kind of I kind of know your personality and stuff. It's always helpful to have that. I think it's mostly just when random new people jump on and just want to tear shit up. It's nice to have someone I know, someone I'm familiar with, that has the power to just kind of make that go away. As I can barely draw and talk, drawing, talking, and moderating is not gonna be possible. Okay, now it's a series of boxes. All right. Yes, I've got a weird setup today. I'm drawing on a tablet, but I'm looking at another monitor. So if my if anything I'm doing looks a little weird. I guess I'm, yeah, because I'm usually looking down. So yeah, maybe that's better actually. It's probably better for streaming that I look up, so it's not just the weird top of my head or whatever as much. But yeah, so driver conflict. But I can't wait to get this. I'm going to start rendering all those videos in 4K, I think, because they do look considerably better when YouTube has their way. Because anything that's, if you let them compress, YouTube just you know, adds all kinds of ugly artifacts and things. Their compression is really heavy-handed, so 4K it seems to look a little bit better. They do less damage, and then of course it'll scale down nicely. So I'm going to start rendering everything 4K. It's a lot more disk space, but it seems like it'll be worth it. The final product is nice. And then, because I'm done with that whole first series of videos, so there's 7 videos, and some of them, towards the end, both of them are like 20, almost, yeah, 20, 25 minutes. I'm just going to make a giant super cut, like a 2.5 hour super cut of the whole thing, or just a collected version. So I don't want to double compress any of that. So I'm going to try to render that out as 4K as well. So we'll see how that goes. That could be some work, be more work than I imagined. But yeah, I think that'll be good. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't like the software. That my problem, yeah, because my daughter is totally iPad Pro. All her illustration, everything is iPad Pro, but she doesn't use any Adobe. She doesn't use Photoshop or anything. And the speed at which I can do things on Photoshop, I'm kind of stuck with. I'm addicted to. And I guess I could convert it, but I would still be hitting wrong keys and like doing wrong things. So I think I would slow myself down. I forget what she uses. But yeah, she's all iPad Pro, but they do have Photoshop, but it's not, from what I've heard, it's not the real thing. It doesn't work like Photoshop. But yeah, the sensitivity, I was just playing around with her iPad and that pencil. It's really nice. Yeah, I mean it's a really nice thing to draw on, and you can take it anywhere. You can just go sit on the sidewalk, and you know. So that's very interesting. That used to be like the old school. You have a sketchbook and you like sit in a cafe or on a bus or whatever and just draw random people. Now you can do that with a tablet. That's insane to think about, because that was, even just like 10 years ago, that was almost a total dream. The portability issue was, you know, not, you would just be holding there were like laptops with touch screens or whatever. There was just no way you were going to do that without being ridiculous or having like a, you know, 30-minute battery life or whatever. Gummy Skittles. Hey, Sedona, how's it going? Gummy Skittles. Wow. So they still have the hard shell. A gummy Skittle would still have a hard shell and just inside be gummy. That would be pretty cool. The contrast of the crunch. And if they kept them sour gummy Skittles, that would be the thing. That would be great. All soft. Come on, you need the shell. Yeah, there's something in Japan that is kind of a gummy with a hard shell on it, and that's pretty cool. You kind of crunch through it, and then you're like, oh, it's so soft. But sour gummy Skittles with a hard shell, that would be great. I think I showed you guys those weird gummies they have here where they're trying to simulate fruit. So it's actually 2 types of gummy. Like there's a gummy skin that's a little bit tougher, and then there's a really mushy, kind of looser gummy inside. So when you bite it, it's just like biting a large grape, or you know, like a plum, or almost not quite peach-like, because they can't imitate that fiberiness of peaches, but that's a creepy simulation, because it feels natural. It feels much more natural because of that weird contrast of the skin and the inside. And then you can get like $3, like, you know, one of them is like $3 or whatever at the high-end department stores, but they have a cheap version. Yeah, those are amazing. That's Japanese candy technology. Nice. Candy shocked. Yeah, that's so creepy. The how the candy aisle in like a Walmart or like big store, how the candy aisle smells because all that candy is supposed to be sealed in like an airtight package, right? But you can smell it, so it has that candy, or maybe it's just when they're packaging it, there's enough like I don't know weird contamination or something on the outside of the packages. But it's weird that it smells sweet. It's like you smell candy in an aisle that's just a bunch of bags of plastic sealed up candy that was previously just in cardboard, crates, cardboard boxes of plastic bags. But the smell of the candy aisle, or maybe it's just because somebody's always opening candy. That's probably what it is if nobody screwed with any of the candy, you wouldn't smell it. But of course somebody has like busted one open and had a bite or whatever. That might be the case. All right, what is this? Okay. So yeah, no big. Well, the universities have started and everything here because the spring break is the summer equivalent of the summer break. So the new school year has started. So the university I go to on Wednesdays, the new students are there, and it's crazy. Everything is so crowded again, and everyone's wearing masks, but it's really really crowded, and it's so strange because first year university students look like high school kids, so they're just like so lost and wandering around and like looking up at the tall buildings and everything. So it's very funny. Yeah, it's funny to see that. It just people look so young. Doesn't look like they're ready. But most of them don't live on their own. Still, a lot of people live with their folks when they go to school, because you don't go away to school as much. Because each kind of part of Japan has a good university that are all kind of equivalents. So you'll go to the local, Ivy League or the local, high-end technical school or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, corn syrup. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's amazing. That invention. Whoever did that needs to be, I'm sure they're in hell right now. The taking the sugar out of candy and using corn syrup to sweeten everything. I think it must have been a conspiracy of government, farmers, and scientists to produce that. So all the soda and everything is corn sweetened, and really, really, your body is just like, what the hell is this? Okay, I guess we're putting that goes right to your gut. The both beer and cola are just like, those calories are headed somewhere bad. All right. So, cushions and, I don't know, cake-like things. Cake in a box. Oh yeah, this could be a can of frosting, couldn't it? Yeah, a cake subscription service. Are those still a thing? Do they still do like Blue Apron and all those things that used to hear advertised on podcasts all the time? Okay, I guess we don't need 2 of these. But don't even need this either. Cake in a box. Sure. There we go. Oh, yeah, honey and peanut butter. Nice. Hey, Madness, how's it going? Oh no, Anthony! Holy shit, Anthony, how's it going? Ah, wow, yeah, long time. Ah, very cool. Yeah, Anthony and I worked together in LA. Wow, seems like forever ago. It was. It was actually very cool. Yeah, and I think I think Anthony left LA as well. It's only been 20 years. Yeah, no, just a moment, just a few moments. Nice. Ah, yeah, but a good guy, a talented designer, programmer. Yeah, very cool. Hmm. Diabetes. All right. Nice. Yeah, sure. Cake in a box. That might work. So let me put some color on this and see if it makes any more sense. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and a lot of people, yeah, I think so Warren and I'm totally blanking on the guy that was running. Totally blanking on the guy's name that was Dave. I think Warren and Dave ended up at the same company that then was bought by Sony. So I think they're both at Sony, at least the last time I heard. Warren visited, he came to Tokyo for some show. And so I met him in Tokyo for dinner. And he was kind of updating me. And it was right before the Sony purchase, I think. So I think they both stayed in LA and were working for Sony. And Nick, I think, moved back to Michigan. So I've just been like very peripherally keeping up with people on social media. But yeah, everybody that we worked with in that same department, that was fun. All right. Yeah, it was a crazy, a crazy company. There we go. Lighter than that, maybe. Oh yeah, now I'm on the monitor that I'm on is totally different. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so everyone is still where they're at. Yeah, just kind of like periodically kind of have checked in with people, but time goes by so fast. Sometimes it's just like it's been 5 or 10 years since I've actually, found out what people are doing, and things can change a lot. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, cool. Oh, thanks, Anthony. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I just kind of chose to do this live streaming thing because I had to not get behind on, I want to keep on schedule, and it's been nice. I've been able to reconnect with people, and the people that found me from Hyphonics live stream have been so cool to hang out with every week. So it's been a really nice thing. So cool. It's good to catch up. Good to see. I'm glad to see you're still around and doing it. Yeah. So I'll have to hit you up on chat or something sometime to catch up on details. Ah, very cool. Nice. All right, so frosting. Yeah, everything's kind of. Maybe I'll lighten the frosting. It'll have to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't. That's the weird part about social media is it. If you just kind of have these see random posts from people that it kind of keeps you from actually reaching out. You're like, I know what's going on. I saw that, or you get this false sense of being up to date with them. I think my mother is like that as a grandmother, with a daughter in Japan. She can totally deal, granddaughter. She can totally deal with just those updates and just I feel like I'm right there with everything you're doing, but it's a really false sense of familiarity. I'm sure it's another, what is that? Parapsychological, parasocial relationship. Maybe not that pink, but where you get this false sense of, we get in touch all the time. Every time you post something, I read it. So that becomes not exactly a very real way, but it does, especially for somebody like me. I get because I have this weird thing. I'm bad with email because when I read someone's email, I think my reply as I'm reading it, and then have this weird sense that I answered that, right? I that's because they psychically heard me answering their question when I was reading their email. So I get this weird kind of confused thing where it's I think I answered them, and it was just because I was formulating an answer as I was reading. So I think that same sort of messed up thing happens. You see what people are doing, and it's okay, we're all up to date. Wow. Oops. One more. Yeah, that's such a funny thing. Yeah, and being long distance too. I do that same thing with family members. People get, people have kids and get married and stuff. It's just you would send a card or a baby present or something, but instead you're just some message on their Facebook, and it's oh, we communicated, we're close. Yeah, that really sucks with family too. But maybe that's better for some people. I don't know, but that's really weird. It makes you really lazy or kind of maybe overconfident in your in the time you spend on people, because that has to be really crazy now for someone to actually do something for you and not just like it or comment on it. But then the reverse of that is people are it's ruining some people's reality because they don't feel anything is worth doing unless it's something they can put on their Instagram, unless they can get something out of it for one of their their social media accounts. That's very odd. And you have the rise of the Instagram boyfriend. I love those photos of, boyfriends endangering their lives, trying to take the perfect Instagram photo of their girlfriend, which a nice, a perfect Instagram photo is just an advertisement for that girl to get another boyfriend. So you're basically like her marketing department to leave you. And I don't think they see it that way, but I think that's pretty much the reality. All right. Ugh. Yeah, not very accurate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Texting is crazy. It's kind of died because of, well, I guess line messages or text messages. Oh, and that just came up in Japan. Line is the popular um, texting program, whatever, the chat program, and they just found out that it's heavily. Oops, I totally missed this thing. That one of the owners is connected to the Chinese government, and so they've been sharing data. They have the ability. They don't have proof, but they've been sharing user data. So that would be Korea, Japan, are having their data captured by the Chinese because of this, because of some ownership or some way that the corporate structure of Line is working. So just like WhatsApp and everything else, it's become compromised. So I think they're going to encourage people to start dropping it, which is a shame because it was the most popular, and so everybody had a Line, so very easy to connect with people. But yeah, everything is everything's getting compromised because everything is getting funded by yeah, it's all Chinese funding, which then has a connection, and if you're dealing with data, you've got a connection to the CCP. Yeah, everyone very soon, I think, with this. I can't say it. The passport that shows you are weatherproofed. Um, every country is going to make a big decision about how they really see the privacy of their citizens, and if everyone's just going to do their own China model, because you can put all the biometric data, everything, all in one account, do facial recognition and everything all together with your weatherproofing, and have a plausible excuse for doing it. It's really crazy. You're funny, Sedona. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's funny because it is like a, yeah, the taking photos of someone you're in a relationship with or someone you're in love with, it's a happy experience, but the funny part of that is that you are producing, like, promotional materials for her next relationship, because there's always a step up. There's always somebody with a better camera. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, that's right. I started because I was doing the divorce thing while I was still working with Anthony, and yeah, that was bad timing. So I started drawing this cartoon. Yeah, when I was still working at that, we were working at the company in LA. That's funny. So it has been 20 years of this cartoon. Yeah, I'm going to call it next year, 2022. I'm going to call it that. That'll be the 20th anniversary, because the first cartoons I have dated are 2002. So that will be that. Oof, yeah, that was that was really bad timing. Hey, Pizza Man. Oh yeah, they've totally screwed us. The delivery pizza places. I don't know. I don't know what the cause of this. Always there's like weird decision making in Japanese companies. But we used to have this really good deal for our game nights and stuff. We could get this like for 30 bucks. You could get two large, which is not huge, but two large pizzas delivered like really quick, because the place was not too far away from where we did the role playing and board game stuff, and they'd killed that offer, so now it's double that. So now it's like almost $60 for two pizzas. Pizza here is insanely expensive if you don't if there aren't deals and things. So yeah, that really sucks. It went from $30 to yeah, so it's almost not even. So it went from $30 for two to $30 a piece, and these are not large pizzas. So that really was sorry. I was totally off on a pizza tangent, but yeah, that was really depressing. The last time we actually physically got together, that hit us where they don't offer any good deals anymore. I don't know why that's. Yeah, so I wonder if that's bad weather related. I wonder if there was something they were just realizing they were losing money by offering that, because people went cheap when they ordered pizza and they could be getting twice as much. But how they kind of compensate for that is they'll give you a coupon for 50% off after. So you have to buy the expensive pizzas and then regularly, like at least once a month, buy the pizzas to keep that price. So I think that's how they kind of rationalized it. We were getting too much for free. We ordered a lot of pizza because we used to meet almost weekly, at least every 2 weeks. So it was at least 3 or 4 pizzas a month. And now I don't know what we're gonna do. We can get really cheap gyoza down the street, so we might have to switch to garlicky, greasy Chinese dumplings. But yeah, that pizza deal was not at all bad. Yeah, can you believe that? The $30 for a pizza is insane. I still remember $5 like insanely large pizzas at the place on the corner near where I lived in LA. $5. Oof. And when you're living alone, when you have that divorced guy bachelor life, that's 2 or 3 meals. God, so depressing. Actually, though, it started to just be one meal. That was the sad thing. I could easily take care of a large pizza alone. It was almost, it was suicide by calories is what I was headed for in LA, living alone. Yikes. Damn. There you go. All right, do the standard bread window. 3 large for 20. Oh man, Hey, how's it going? Uh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and they always have. Oh, the really weird thing. So it's not something I can easily do, on stream. But the really weird thing about Japanese pizza is they'll do these like really deluxe combinations of stuff where it's like shrimp and mayonnaise and seaweed and all these like crazy, you know, combined ingredients and a lot of so then a lot of Japanese stuff, and then they'll let you quarter the pizza. So basically, it's like two, maybe three. They do like 12 pieces, so it's like three slices, small slices of these really elaborate, complicated combinations. So it's like you could get a quarter of like all meat and a quarter of all seafood and a quarter of like potato and mayonnaise and a quarter of some kind of Korean barbecue or something. But it seems so expensive and so complicated to do that, but it's very common. Like the style that they're always offering is like best for or special for or happy for or whatever. And there'll be these really weird combinations, these really complicated combinations, and it'll only be a quarter of the pizza. So it's weird, and there's surprisingly very little like spillover. So they must have like a template or something that they put, some way that they keep it restricted to a three slice area. But that's really funny. I don't understand. I mean, that's just the Japanese desire for like a variety of tastes and a variety of things. Like every meal, people want like many different small tastes, and so they try to do that on pizza. So they'll quarter a pizza and just do these like radically bizarre. So you can go from like a greasy, like an oily fried seafood to a veggie, like a grilled veggie pizza. Yeah, it's really weird and complicated, but those are the really expensive. You can pay like 50, $70 for one of those like really deluxe, really divided, so that the ingredients are like really expensive. You can pay crazy money for those. Yeah, depending on where you're getting it from. But it's so odd. The how the foreign foods try to fit into the aesthetics here. It always ends up with these really strange things like that. So like a quartered pizza that has like the most complicated ingredients you've ever seen, like right up against each other. And that's most of the the chain. So the two big ones are Pizza Hut and Domino's here. There's no Papa John's in Japan. So it's Domino's and Pizza Hut, and they do a lot of that stuff. But then there's also the more kind of gourmet, yeah, ones that are just with Italian names or whoops or whatever that do. There we go. That do the same thing, only like more high end. And those get crazy expensive. Did they do that thing in the US for pizza delivery where they literally have the driver on GPS the whole time, so you're like watching them approach the delivery spot? That has to make that job so much more miserable when you're just like constantly being tracked and people can literally call you and say, "Where the hell's my pizza?" Yeah, and there's no tipping here, so pizza delivery is the worst job because you're on a little scooter, endangering your life on the with all the maniacs in the city, and no matter what it took to get it there, there is no tip. Uh, ah, yeah, that's really Really crazy. And the funny thing, I was just talking with somebody about that. The funny thing is, like, tipping is a weird thing kind of built in. So jobs that are all tips, sometimes really suck, and sometimes so you have kind of unpredictable income, but you also have cash in your pocket every single night for a single mom or just student or whatever. That's incredibly powerful, and it doesn't exist here. So that the part of the reason that divorce was so rare, used to be so rare in Japan, is because a woman basically had to go into sex work guaranteed if she didn't have a family that could support her and was going to become a single mom. So yeah, it's really amazing how that, even though tipping culture is a little random and odd, like people don't quite use it well, it creates this kind of social safety net. That those are waitressing and everything. Tipping jobs are not great jobs. They're hard work usually, but it's definitely makes a big difference when you have this like threat of your only option is sex work after a divorce in the 70s in Japan. Was it makes a big difference. Yeah. Yeah, and I can't imagine. And I don't mean like hardcore prostitution, but I just mean those like male entertainment jobs where you're at a bar laughing and touching the shoulders of rich businessmen all the time, waiting for one of them to sugar daddy up. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's very different. It's very interesting. Wasn't that a line in Reservoir Dogs when Steve Buscemi's character, Mr. Pink, wasn't going to tip, and then they go into the whole economics of tipping? Yeah, Pizza Tracker. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, oh, right. I can imagine. Oh, even Comcast, so even like the cable guy. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's gotta like make your job even that much more insulting, is when people are tracking you door to door. Yeah, I guess it's a little more understandable with deliveries because you have like valuables and stuff. Because you can time things up. You can like run, if you know that the delivery is on its way, you can kind of head them off and try to meet them at your place on your lunch break or whatever. If you've got valuable deliveries, you don't have to have something sitting on your doorstep waiting to be stolen. I don't know. That's still, that would make me really reconsider my job choice if I was on a GPS all the time. All right, is that I'm falling off the screen here? Yeah, wait. Oh, so now, I should maybe move this monitor a little closer. And then I can't see the chat. God damn. I can't make this new setup work well. But then I'm looking up, I guess. Maybe it's a little bit better. Crazy. But I released not on YouTube yet, sorry. So just on the podcast, the RSS feed for the podcast. So if you subscribe to the Nmity Stories, which I'm gonna pop it up. Or am I gonna do this? Can I do this? Wait a minute here. Okay, let's try this. I'll pop this up right now. Okay, so if you go here, so this is just the default podcast aggregator site that they give you. But I released, so here's all the Nmity stories so far. So I'm going to finish the 12th one and then kind of have that as the first arc or the first cycle, the first book of them. And but I put if you didn't hear, and I've tweaked it now so it sounds even nicer. I've processed it a little differently. So this is the first story that I wrote and posted, but this is read by Dolly. So if you want to hear her amazing voice, you've only read her in chat, and if you want to hear her amazing voice, or yeah, I guess you've heard her on her live stream as well. But this is her reading that first story, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. So I wanted to post this. I was gonna try to do some Patreon thing or something, but later, and offer like the actually read, performed stories by real people. Offer those as the Patreon content, but I wanted to submit this. There's a fiction podcast festival thing going on. They wanted to submit this to, and I wanted to have at least one real voice on there. I don't know. There's, for some reason, I was just worried the AI voices would not play well. So I wanted to have at least one real voice as kind of, showing the ultimate motivation of doing this. So yeah, so that is on. So that's Nmity Stories, NMITY. You can see it right there at Buzzsprout, or also stories.mnitycorp.com. I'm not sure how well it's placing, how easy it is to Google, but yeah. So if you want to hear Lee amazingly read that story, I was so surprised because I had written it and I had also done the AI voice version of it, and it was okay. The voices, of course, are very emotionless, but her interpretation of the scenes and everything, and the emotion of the characters, is so perfect. I didn't give her any direction at all. Just showed her the story, and it was just her interpretation, and it was spot on. It was exactly like, I think she got the tone perfectly. It's so beautiful. So yeah, that's worth checking out if you like those stories at all. So I forget, I can post URLs in the fucking chat. So there it is. So that's the RSS, or that's the website. You can listen to them straight on the website, and then all the ways to subscribe are buttons for the podcast feed. So yeah, so there'll be one more of these, and then I'll take a little break and kind of catch up. I got to do some more writing to have more content. But yeah, I was happy to get these all out, and I did it weekly until here. This was the first one that was every 2 weeks. Oh, and this is the one, I've talked about this previously. Unloved, this is the one I finally figured out how to tell the story between the couple that's only communicating through translation. So they speak different languages, and their visor, there's like the software of their visors, is kind of doing rapid interpretation, or quick interpretation through just software translation of what they're saying to each other, and they're both reacting very differently to the kind of sterile, emotionless, and kind of mistranslated version of what they're saying. And so I finally figured out how to do that, and I finally figured out how that resolves. Like, it took so long to figure out what so so what happens, like what how can you possibly, so if you're starting to be misunderstood and drifting apart, like, what can you go to in your culture, or what do you have to express something kind of beyond words that would be very accurate to what you wanted to say, and kind of go around translation. And so I think I found something that works well. I kind of played around with sign language or music, or what would it be, but I think I found something that worked okay. So yeah, let me know if you do listen to that. Let me know what you think. All right, so I can quit advertising. But But yeah, so and that's almost, I forget, I did a total, that's like 2 hours of like 2.5 hours of stories already. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. Human voice is better, but human voice is expensive. That's the worst part of it. There's a few places that you can submit. You can kind of have voice actors audition and things. The first story was the longest, and I was getting like $300, like two. The lowest was like 200, but 200 $300 fees for doing a read, and that is if it's a professional voice actor, it sounds nice, but and you can give them a little bit of direction, but not, you can't sit there and say, okay, can you say that again? Can you say that again? You can't like audio engineer them. But yeah, yeah, right, right, right. No, that's true. I like it changing. I like there being a male voice, a female voice, and a robot voice. Like I like being able to change characters in the story. But yeah, you're right. When the computer reads it, if I don't like over punctuate it, and still sometimes that screws up the phrasing and the intonation and everything. If I over punctuate it, then I can have spaces that I can cut. But otherwise, because it's trying to make it natural English, it just links and blends all the sounds and the words together, and it does it so quickly. I think there is a slower setting. Oh, and I didn't do that. I didn't experiment with actually time stretching it. That's probably a good idea too, is to have it read, because it is almost that weird like one and a half times, almost two times speed. When the computer reads it, it puts in linking and kind of realistic intonation, but it's reading it so fast that you kind of just like blends everything together. So yeah, it's not ideal, but it's free. Or it was. I mean, it was one time cost, one time fee, but much cheaper than I didn't have confidence in the stories being good enough to spend that much money on the production of each one, because then that's just the voice. Then I have to do the editing and everything as well. Yeah, but thank you for the feedback, Yum. I think that helps me a lot. Yeah, yeah. I wish. I don't know. I should try it. I mean, but after what Lee did with that story, like I don't think I can do that. I mean, I could write it, but I can't perform it in that way. Like she did really amazing job with the emotion and everything. Yeah, Dolly's got a really nice voice, and she got or she made the characters kind of a lot much more alive. I should try. Yeah, I mean, I should give it a try, but I have to listen to myself, for all kinds of horrible things, all the other YouTube stuff and everything. So yeah, I don't need any more of that in my life. But yeah, no, I wish I wouldn't charge myself, so I think that would be pretty good. But yeah, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Ah, thanks, Pizza Man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to. Yeah, so and maybe that's what differentiates the stream is it's just me kind of calmly babbling on while I draw goofy little cartoons. So yeah, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kicking it around, but there's a site, I think voices.com. They let you submit a script, and then all the voice actors that are registered there, if they're interested, or they kind of fit your, like, you give some criteria, like male, like 20 to 40, whatever. You give some kind of criteria for the what kind of voice actor you want. Then they'll do like a little like minute audition or whatever, And after hearing some of those auditions, I was like, oh, that, it needs a professional voice. And that was the thing when I was doing animation. That's what every like instructor or professor, anybody that I ever dealt with said is suddenly, like, if you use professional voice actors to voice something, to do dialogue for your animation or whatever, instead of you and your friends, instantly it goes up a level and it's taken much more seriously. Will go much further, and then as a thing it will kind of exist in a very different position. So when you hear it, it still works, when you're it's amateur or unprofessional, and there's some appeal to that. There's some there's some nice qualities to that, that if that's what you're going for in the piece or in the animation, it may work. Like amateur sounding voice may work because it feels real. But a professional voice actor puts so much more, just there's more life in that voice, and they kind of understand how to get, how to make their voice sound cute or strong or cold or whatever in a very like a deliberate way. So if you're looking for characterization, it makes such a huge difference to do it that way. But yeah, I don't know. But that's just my hang up. That's my kind of brainwashing from school is if you're gonna do it, pay the money and have it done. Do it professionally, because the final product is and so what do? I do the complete opposite. I don't even do amateur voices. I do fucking unlistenable unlistenable computer voices. Yeah, I didn't go the right direction with that. But yeah, but I like the kind of ironic quality of that as well. Like the stories are about technology and shitty technology, like obviously not nice and kind of uncomfortable technology is reading the stories. There was something, the irony of that made me was entertaining. Let's see here, where is this? It's here. But yeah, I don't think it's going to fare well at the festival. But yeah, at least I got it out there too. That's the other thing that I was happy about, is I actually, because those stories had been sitting around forever, I finally got them out. Yeah, but it's amazing the difference with the human, and especially because the emotional kind of stakes and the tone of a lot of the stories is pretty heavy. That looks like peanut butter, right? Kind of. So, yeah, a real voice makes a huge difference. Oh yeah, and voiceover. If you can get a gig as a voiceover actor, I mean the labor of it is so much less than actually on camera acting. And once you are the voice of that character, that's very rare that you get changed. So yeah, if you get, and they kind of call that, there's a kind of a mafia of voice actors they talk about in Los Angeles, because yeah, you get in on that and you're doing animation voices and stuff, and it's really good work. And then you get it's a union job, and yeah, you can easily make a career. And I don't think those people are interested in competition. So once you're inside, once you're one of them, it's a really good thing. Yeah, but I've heard that that's becomes the goal of people that are like slogging the doing doing TV commercials and stuff. If you just become a voice actor and get cast as a popular character's voice, it's really really good, really good career. And you can show up to work in your pajamas and just have your lemon tea and your pajamas, and you're all set. All right, I think we're good color wise on both of these. Yeah, it's like a little squish of peanut butter. So the missing peanut butter. All right. Okay, so I guess we'll do comments. And because I've them all screwed up, let me just do this. Boom, there we go. Sorry about the monster little flash there. All right, my desktop. Okay, so this was last week. Oh, man. This was last week, so April 6th. Oh, they're all doing about the same. I think I've got basically the same audience week to week. Is reading, a satellite signal was a whole lot of work for just the local temperature. But it was good to see the approaching storm front. Very nice, simple rendering of a digital weather device. A simple rendering. That's all my cartoons are simple renderings. Nice. Oh, there's a reply in there. I got my arthritis for that. Nice. All right. Yeah, I've included. Oh wait, no. Oh no, in the in my information, the bio information for this cartoon, I included like the links to the live stream and everything, but I don't think anyone that reads it online has ever made it over to see the stream. I was curious if it would happen, but I think it's a totally different audience. I don't think anybody, even knows, what Twitch or YouTube live streams would be. It's a different demographic. So my April 1st, not April 1st-y joke. There was a prize to find that the exact same key worked on all their locks. And let's read the 4 wacky comments. Equality. Oh, nice, Ed. I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. And the locks must charge $8.95 for a duplicate. Found this to be true of the toilet paper and hand towel dispenser at our office. Those you can buy in a 6-pack. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's right. The when to protect, so people don't take them home, that little key that locks those dispensers. That's funny. Yeah, why would it be anything but just this like standard base key? Because you wouldn't want to not be able to replace have your toilet paper locked permanently. Yeah, that's funny. Oh wait, there's something. Oh no, that was it. All right. Yeah, totally. Blew the chance at an April 1st cartoon date and didn't use it. But every day, I'm already a fool on all 364 other days. Lumber felt all his options were bad. Getting screwed. Oh, this is another, 2007. Nothing. 2018. Yeah, this is just prior to live stream, I think. March. Yeah, I think I started in September. Turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. Like age wasn't just a number. Oh, look at that. There's a Sharpie drawing. Oh, take it easy. Take it easy, Pizza Man. Yeah, that's really funny. I think it's just the groups are very different. I think it would be somebody that wouldn't even know, why would you watch a live stream? It's like, I think it's an older audience that likes newspaper comics, because the syndicator is, more famously, Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield and everything. They don't they just started like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, promoting webcomics and doing, digital only syndication. So yeah, I don't think there's the same crossover, and they may mostly be reading these from email. So they'll just see them through email, and they can, I think, all the controls for commenting and everything, they can just click, and from the email takes them to the website. So And so they may have not even actually seen the bio information with that link. But yeah, it's funny. There are people that like regularly, on this site at least, regularly read the cartoon, but I just think there's no crossover. And it may kind of, this is a little too much of like how the sausage is made. You don't want to watch me go for 30 minutes. Just read the cartoon, and if it's good or good or bad. Whoa. But yeah, so I'm surprised though too, Yum, that it doesn't come over. Those boomers, my boomer audience. Yeah, this guy. I think I already told that story probably a couple of times. But the Barnes and Noble guy that I met, that was talking about publishing collections of these, that I met in San Diego, said this is chick lit. It's definitely made for women, and I was trying to figure out, okay, but he's coming from that very corporate book selling marketing space, so when he sees something like this, he just has to put it in a category. And because it was small, and especially my earlier stuff, and this was kind of the opposite of that, I drew intentionally big, but my early stuff was much smaller, kind of isolated on the white background, and immediately it's like, oh, that must be for women. Oh yeah, look at that. 2002, an oldie. So the refreshments found the floor of the movie theater cold and unforgiving despite their tremendous size. All right. Oh, this is the loading screen of the abusecartoons.com forever. I used to change it like seasonally, and then I just ended up leaving the melted snowman cartoon up there forever. So people have seen it, but they've never read it on this site. So the only thing that held the group together proved to be somewhat unreliable. Snow. 2020, yeah, that was definitely drawn on stream. They mostly bonded on the topic of roasting. Oh, peanuts and coffee. I think this went up late. It might be one of those that didn't get into the email. So if you can, on GoComics, if you have a premium account, then you can just go through, well, even without, I think. Is it? I think they changed it. You used to be able just to subscribe and, see ads and read the cartoons. But there's a premium account where you just get a list every day. You just get, a bunch of cartoons in a nice long email of everything that was released that day. So I think instead of the doing a deep dive on the website, most people just like choose their favorites and just get them on their phone in their inbox. I don't think there's an app. I don't think they ever developed. GoComics doesn't have an app. They just, not that long ago, kind of, really, really fixed the website so it works better. All right. 2019, an ibuprofen sandwich was never the recommended dosage. Yeah, this is April 2019, where I was still getting insane headaches that I had no idea what they were about. So I had like literally bottles of ibuprofen like this everywhere. I'm currently wearing a tee. Screw your recommended serving size. You don't know me. What? All right. Oh, some Japanese reference there. International Food Night had somehow gone horribly wrong. Uh-oh. Yum is entering the boomer trenches. Yeah, there's some nice people. There's some obviously very probably some people in their 60s on this site that have very specific ideas about what is funny and what is not in their cartoons. But also I think people that like read alternative, kind of free papers and stuff, so they're used to a different tone. But you get some very like, I remember when. Each drip made the soap feel less and less. All right. 2010. Oh, look at that photo. Look at the happy couple. He was lucky to be the least embarrassing family memory. Oh, come on. That's not bad. Oh, and there is a comment. Or the funniest. Plods. Plods with pops in and out. Oh, look at that Bionic Man lunchbox. Oh, yeah, I went on Google and tried to find the most random metal lunchbox design, and then just sculpted it right on there. And look, I even did the embossing. It's got the Steve Austin's just like popping right off the front of that lunchbox. His generic character branding did not make him collectible in any way. Hey, OneDrive. See, so your brown bag lunch can also have cool character on it. Who, somebody, I have a weird memory of somebody's parents drawing on their lunch bags. I should do that. There is no lunch bags here, but yeah, that would have been fun in America. I should have done. I think my American daughter ever took a sack lunch to school too, because they always had just have a bigger variety of lunch. Yeah, I don't think she ever brought a lunch, but I should have drawn. Nice. Doomers. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, what I just heard yeah, maybe it was Doomer that I heard. I thought I just heard something that had that funny context of like a nihilistic or pessimistic generation tag. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I think it was talking about the that space between Gen X and millennials, and I forget what they called it. They called it for something very funny though. But it's kind of the people that are just old enough to kind of get the Gen X kind of pop culture obsession when it was just TV and comic books and movies, and then the millennial kind of meme culture that they can do both, because they were like there's a really specific sweet spot of like maybe 10 years or whatever, and I forget what they called them, but yeah, that's a very funny but it was something like Doomer. It had like that very nihilistic kind of lost generation quality to it. Make it collectible in any way. Oh yes, it does. The trash collector depends on him. Nice. Katina. More valuable than expensive lunchbox. Yes. Yeah, it's funny this idea, this style of lunchbox. There is like, people collecting them as kind of pop culture stuff, metal lunchboxes, even in Japan, because they're such a weird Western kind of relic. But the lunchbox here is like just it's either kind of small square or a little bit elongated, just almost Tupperware basically. Yeah, so there are some character. Yeah, but it's not quite the same. It's more just stickers. If there is like a kid's version of it, it's just like a sticker on top. Or sometimes the clear. They have ones that clamp and there's a clear image. So sometimes it's like, Hello Kitty or Mario or something screened onto the clear acrylic top. But nothing like embossed metal, embossed aluminum, whatever. No, I guess they're metal. Yeah, so they're like I guess they're like tin, not tin. Yeah, some sort of very easy to dent metal surface. I remember, yeah, everybody hitting things with their lunchbox and having like dinged in corners, or scratch the paint off very easily. All right. Okay, one more. I'm on my one mores already. 2019. Hey, there's a pizza. Pizza Man just missed my only pizza cartoon. He was just happy to be away from all that extra cheese. 2019. Peppa Lonely. Oh, Podog, that's good. Let me help you with that. Peppa Lonely. See, I can't. I could never go there. I could never get to that level of punniness. All right, 2020. Yeah, this is one guys definitely watched. The bottle was already empty, then the cap wasn't doing his job. Huh? Yay. Tongue cha-cha-cha is definitely... Oh, wait. Let's see if somebody tries to explain it. Sure, blame the cap. Some people find it offensive if you put the cap back on the bottle. Huh? Oops, I unliked. Yes, I love the random... This, in the early days, this was all it was. It's like, is this funny? I don't get it. Huh? That was all it was. And especially when people saw the title of the cartoon. So it's like, okay, the tone and the title, I don't even want to deal with this. But still, you take the time to type HUH question mark enter, just because. It says who liked things. Oh, that's funny. Ah, very cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, interesting. All right. So at least we got a we found a confused reader. So let's get back. Look at this. I can just minimize, and we're back. The wrong generation. Yeah. Oh, were you asking? Oh, sorry. Were you asking how I did? Yeah. So I just took the graphics. I just stole the graphics off of I think like some collector site or whatever like did a turnaround. They did like the front, sides, and everything. And so in Photoshop, I just like distorted the image, so I'm not just like stealing someone's artwork, but I wanted it to look like I wanted it, that weird layout, because it was always painted. Like the artwork on those metal lunchboxes was painted, and so just took it and just like perspected it on there, and then drew shadows and highlights on top of it to make it look embossed. With Steve Austin doing his action stuff. All right. Yes. Yeah, that's really sad. But it's funny though, there's a really weird obsession, and I think some like Japanese collectors and stuff, they literally come over to the US and probably go to auctions and stuff, like estate auctions and things, and just buy huge lots of like tin, like the metal lunchboxes, or the novelty glasses, like the painted free glasses that fast food places or whatever were giving away. So sometimes you'll go into these like pop culture shops, and it's so bizarre, just the weird range of stuff. You'll have like those old McDonald's characters on drinking glasses, and just really weird random stuff. But anything with a character or anything referring to like a weird brand is super popular as like foreign foreign pop culture. But it is kind of weird the way it's treated. So it is like a weird relic because it is another culture. It's basically like their strange kind of archaeology. But they're, digging up things. Because, I actually went... There was a shop in Shinjuku that I was at one time that was all weird pop culture stuff. And they had a whole... what are those even called? Just like the... a hook, like the display that has the metal rod, so you can just like hang things on the little hooks. So most of the retail packaging for toys or candy or whatever, it has that little cutout, so you just put it... You can hang a series of them on pins, so like a pegboard or whatever. And they had a bunch of old, I'm totally forgetting the name, but those kind of late 70s, early 80s, like monster baseball characters and stuff. But they had the original, so they made baseball cards of these, kind of like Big Daddy Ross, kind of the monster dragster stuff, and Ratfink and stuff. So it was a knockoff of that style of art from the 60s, I guess. But it was more 70s, 80s kids stuff, like kind of the same era as Garbage Pail Kids and stuff. But they had all of these original packages of that gum, like it's still in the wax paper wrapper. So the gum is still in there, like, eating through the cardboard, whatever it's doing. But they had, so those had to be like 30, more than 30 years old. Weird packages of, like novelty, what are those called? The baseball cards, but they're not baseball cards, like collector's cards or whatever. They had trading cards. Sorry, trading cards. Yeah, so they had these weird novelty cartoon trading cards, and there's like a one sticker in there, so it's like cards, and then one of them is a sticker, or maybe no, actually, all of those were stickers. All the kids stuff, like Garbage Pail and everything, those are all stickers, right? So it's a baseball card, but you could peel it off, and but it was crazy. I was like, just having like weird flashbacks of all that kind of stuff that was in the convenience stores in the late 70s, early 80s, and it was just like sitting there in a store, and not even, it was not expensive at all. So somebody from Japan, sought out some really weird stuff, and they might not even quite get like where in context that fits in, or like who would be familiar with that. It's just a weird American thing. It looks so weird American. These characters, this style is so American, and so they bought it, for the shop. But that was amazing. Yeah, whatever those were called. I'm not gonna. Oh, I can Google down here and drag it in. I'm figuring this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Trading cards, because you trade with your friends. Yeah, I think this is them. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, they did a Japanese version too. They're totally different. Oh, here we go. This is the one I'm talking about. How should I do this? I'll just bring it in here. Yeah, so these are the ones. This is what I saw. So these are the just weird illustrations. They had just stupid names. Like each of the players had stupid names, but look, they did a like a yokai. Oh no, these are Ultraman. Like they're monsters. They're kaiju from Ultraman. So they did a Japanese version of it where it's all the monsters that Ultraman fought. But yeah, these are the ones that I saw. So I just saw sealed packs of these that are like a random Japanese store. So bizarre. And I don't, they weren't like, there we go. Awesome All-Star. So that was the packaging. Leaf. Is there a year? No year. Yeah. But that was really random and really bizarre. That somebody went out of their way to like buy that, thinking there was some kind of customer in Japan that would, there's the more of those packages. Some customer in Japan that would be like, great, I can't wait to buy these old disgusting novelty trading cards. Yeah, it's really funny. But this is what I saw, just hanging on a weird rack, just like they were in like another plastic bag, but they were the original wax packages. So retro junk. Is there a date on any of these? Yeah, it's very 80s. The art style is very 60s. But yeah, nobody is. Yeah, there's the Garbage Pail Kids. This is dangerous. I'm just gonna like be on the internet. This is ridiculous. But at least you have some context now for what I'm talking about. Yeah, and there was so much of that stuff. Look, Indiana Jones. Every movie had like trading cards for it in the 80s. But that was really weird to see, just something that has no, it's just foreign, and it's interesting because it's foreign. And I guess we kind of do the opposite. Like there were some shops I remember in LA that would just have like random Japanese nonsense, and you didn't know what the characters were or anything. Yeah, especially pre-internet, there was no way to know. Yeah. Oh, Pogs. Yeah, that's funny. Nice. Disney Goofy Glass, only for your alcohol. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, they missed the. I wish they would have merchandised Ren and Stimpy in a more '80s way, you know, in like a trashy like '70s, '80s way that would have fit that style. There could have been some really cool stuff, but I think Nickelodeon wasn't, because that was, yeah, that was Nickelodeon, wasn't it? They didn't know what the hell they were doing early on. But and then they just took the show away. They totally took the show away from John Kay. That's crazy. All right, so let's try to write some of this. And yeah, that's right. Powdered Toast Man. That's all right. Yeah, and I love how many of the characters looked like Kirk Douglas. That was the funny, like the character design, and even some of the voice work, which I think John Kay did a lot of. It was always like a Kirk Douglas from Spartacus kind of like his idol. I think was yeah, kind of like '60s Kirk Douglas. That was what a man looked like. So yeah, Powdered Toast Man's face was basically just like a caricature of Kirk Douglas. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and I already told you that. Yeah, so John Kay, the Ren and Stimpy guy, like lived a couple blocks over from me in like Studio City, North Hollywood kind of area, the in the valley, and I had no idea. One of my friends visited him and said all he did is like draw and lift weights. He had like an old like those like sand filled '70s style barbells and like weight set on the patio. So it was like lift weights, draw cartoons. So maybe he looks like Kirk Douglas in the '60s now. All right. Yeah. Oh, wasn't there? That's old news, I think now, but I think he got canceled. I think they were gonna do like a Ren and Stimpy revival or something, and then he got canceled by, he got Me Too'd by some female animators, like coworkers. I forget, but I've heard like stories about him being really, really abusive, like really, really hard to work for, and just like, you know, just tearing into people, and just yeah, just being really, really difficult to work with. But yeah, I thought there was something. There was like a revival of maybe Ren and Stimpy that just got stopped. Yeah, and Log. That's right. Yeah, but I love that style, and that was so unique. He came from Terry Toons, right? Like he was. So that's why he wanted to do Mighty Mouse. Um, or am I confusing? I'm confusing Ralph Bakshi and John Kay. I forget. Yeah, both of them worked for really like mediocre standard animation studios. Because Ralph Bakshi was the Mighty Mouse. Maybe that was both. I'm totally blanking. Maybe Ralph Bakshi produced it, put his name on it. But it was kind of a John Kay looking thing, Spumco looking thing. I forget. But, oh no, that's right. John Kay was Hanna-Barbera. I think he worked at Hanna-Barbera, and Ralph Bakshi was Terry Toons. I don't know. Somebody must know. Yes, they did. Kids love Log. Oh, back when we were easily amused. All right, so here, let me shift this. Oh, I got totally messed up working space this week. Okay. So this was kind of, I was thinking kind of an old school, like original domestic abuse joke about the peanut butter running away with the marshmallow fluff. I'm just going to write it in the longest possible, unfunniest way. Peanut butter. No, I don't think suspicious is funny. But something about like the peanut butter marshmallow fluff sandwiches. So let's see. So just be more direct. This is another long one. Marshmallow, right? It's an A. I have to double check. Avoiding his sandwich duties. No, this is not. This is a novel, a sandwich novel. It's not even going to fit 2 lines. Jeez. Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to say he abandoned jelly. Like the peanut butter is missing from the image because he had run off with marshmallow fluff. Was obvious that peanut, and both of these are very long words. Had run OF. What is that from? Oh brother, we're out there. Run off. Run RUNOFT. Run off. Had run. But there's no. Yeah, damn it. I'm trying to think of another. It was just like a weirder combination. Abandoning his lid. Oh, whoa, yay, whoa, K5, damn. Yeah. Comedy Central. I was gonna do Ren and Stimpy. Billy West, yeah, as Stimpy. Yeah, so John Kay was Ren, and Billy West was Stimpy. But then when I'm getting too close to the camera, when Nickelodeon took it over, then Billy West just did both voices because he's so insanely talented. He could do a decent Ren too. Yeah. So, but that was such a good combination. The original voices were so good. Creative staff have been employed. Billy West is expected to return. And then John Kay is not involved because of sex abuse allegations. Oof. That sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. I mean, I don't think anybody had anything good to say about him, but it's like, separating the artist from the work. The work is amazing. And it was always late, actually. Like, it was always behind schedule and really terrible with deadlines. But the work was amazing. Yeah. But, if you're a single guy in your 50s, all you're doing is lifting weights, you're probably not going to have really great attitudes about women. And the all the young girls that he gave opportunities to at the studio. I imagine that he probably did a lot for some people's careers, and also harassed the hell out of and made people's life miserable. I have no idea, but I can just imagine from things I've heard. Yeah, I saw somebody's a guy that kid who was younger than me that worked at Spumco. I saw the boards and stuff he did for Ren and Stimpy, and they were so amazing. But he just said he got just berated constantly by John Kay for his work, and so it was really hard to he didn't have that, some of those situations where you have someone that's a real hard ass, it makes you kind of rise to the challenge and want to please them, and you work harder and stuff. But some dynamics, when someone is just coming down on you and telling you you're garbage all the time, it just defeats your motivation, and you're just like, why am I putting up with this? So it's just personality combinations. Yes, so the peanut butter is not there. Thank you for that, K5. Yeah, it yeah prevents me from from reading Wikipedia to you on the live stream. That's depressing, though. Mm. Yeah, it's just too bad. I mean, but a lot of people that have really interesting styles are able to kind of not innovate, kind of are radical and kind of change certain industries and how things look. They were able to do that not because they're wonderful, gentle, nice people. It's because they're assholes, and they push and fight and yell and scream to get things done, and it works. It gets things done, but yeah, then you gotta work with that. You gotta work with that kind of person. I don't know. That's a shame, though. I'd like to see more of his stuff, but there is no reason. I mean, you could be canceled and you could be kicked out of the animation industry, and he could still be doing stuff online. He could still be doing, web animations and comics and things, like just his own stuff. And because of his name and his style, people would still be. I mean, people would still trying to be cancel him. Still trying to be canceling him. Whatever, English. But yeah, he could still have his own type of career. That sucks. It was obvious. It was not obvious. I'm just kidding. Yeah, the peanut butter was spending a uncomfortable. That might be best. Marshmallow fluff is not in. So it's supposed to be obviously like grape jelly, right? People are spending an uncomfortable amount of time with marshmallow fluff. I don't know. Yeah, sorry about that cough. That echoed off of echoed off the back wall. I'm sure it sounded great on the mic. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And the art, yeah, separating the art from the artist. I mean, yeah. Something about running off. Yeah, running. Yeah, I think running off didn't. Yeah, I don't know. The missing lid is something. Yeah, running off with pancakes and syrup. Something. Yeah, I just wanted so peanut butter and jelly, obviously, they're all there to make a sandwich. Peanut butter is missing, and where is he? Oh, or maybe just do it like, yeah, kind of more like police report style. The missing peanut butter was later found again. It's a exciting novel. Trying to make sandwiches, making sandwiches, trying to making. The missing peanut butter was later found trying to make sandwiches with marshmallow fluff. Oh, I don't know. That's the oh shit. Shit. Fucking thing. Okay, the missing. God damn it. There's no way to get that back. That's funny. That's not an undo because it was a never was. Egg sandwiches. Typo. I think it's marshmallow. It might be marshmallow. Trying to make. There we go. Missing peanut butter. Click the right freaking button. Was later found. I wish there was a. Because I think if enter, it just returns the line. I wish there was a keyboard command to finalize that text. Missing peanut butter was later found trying to make sandwiches with marshmallow fluff with the 2 L's. I bet marshmallow is not in the library. The feeble. Oh shit! Oh, there, there it is. Yeah. Oh, I can look that up down here. Oh yeah, it's A. Yeah, that's right. But then there's also an American DJ called Marshmello. Are you? Nice. Yeah, Mike Judge is very funny. I always liked every time, like when Beavis and Butthead was a thing, and he had to go on shows, and people always wanted him to do the voice, but it tears his throat up really bad. So he like always is like, I can only do a little bit. Don't make me do this. But I guess for the movie or whatever, or just production of that show, it's pretty hard on his throat to do that for hours. That laughing, sniveling voice sound. Right. This is really, really long, but we'll leave that for now. Okay. So cake in a box, brand name. I should do the little trademark. And I screwed up. Yeah, the box is not actually big enough for that cake, but it's close enough. A subscription box. Birthday cake subscription box was not never took off, so we can make a sad. Whoa, where are we here? There we go. A sad cake, realizing there's no future. What's like a, yeah, it's really, there we go. Yeah, there's got to be like a more, it's got to be a specific subscription. Had limited appeal. Some kind of weird cake. Like weird specific cake. So maybe a birthday cake or something cake. Or you just didn't need that many birthday cakes. Subscription service. So something about, it's got to be more ridiculous, doesn't it? Cake is not that crazy of a thing to get in a box. The what kind of cake in a box? Cake assembly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Is like you get all the pieces to put together. So it's a can of frosting and whatever's in that little white box. Yeah, so maybe I should just write frosting on the can so it looks like, maybe I'll do that. Maybe not that font though. Oh no, don't look at my fonts. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a lot of stuff on this machine. I didn't haven't done much design work on here. Not that, maybe this. Oh yeah, that's a cute font. All right. And maybe chocolate color. And render this. Oh, I can't, when it's not a font, I can't bend it, can I? Okay, let's go back a couple steps here. And we'll do it this way. No. This, and then just opposite. Just a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. Oh wait, there we go. A little bit more. Whoa. Come on. I'm not doing well here. There we go. Frosting. It's frosting. Yes, that is all the sprinkles. The white box contained all the sprinkles. Bulge. Thank you. That's good to have Anthony around. Oh no, what did I do here? Other way. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Anthony saves the day. It's still, there we go. Maybe a little more. And no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's nice. That looks much more on the can, and maybe just take it out a little bit. There. And put it under here. There we go. Frosting. That's the brand, yeah. It's missing. It's just missing the last letters of everything. Nice. All right. Oh, wait. I should probably add a little bit more spongy, cakey texture. And here. There we go. So it reads a little bit more. It looks really yellow on the streaming window. All right, not birthday cake. Something. There's not enough, Or I should do like the the bride and groom. Oh, sorry. Madness. No, it's my imaginary friend. Sorry. My imaginary friend Anthony. He's talks when I do this. He talks to me. No, Madness Maker is my old oldest acquaintance on the chat. My yeah, old coworker. Sorry, I don't mean to keep talking. Yeah. He just gave me some Photoshop guidance. Everyone's like, "Who are you talking to?" Tony. Tony is the little man that lives in my mouth. What that was really disturbing. Is that from Stephen King, or is that? I guess that must be from the book, right? The detail that the little man that lives inside my mouth. Even as a kid, like seeing The Shining, even when I was young, that was like a really disturbing description of an imaginary friend. Yum's getting freaked out. No, Anthony doxed himself. No, when Madness Maker popped on, he identified himself, so I knew who it was. Yeah, because I wouldn't have recognized the name otherwise. Yes. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, the joke being some kind of useless cake service. Yeah, it seems like there needs to be one more thing to push it, like one more object to push it into it being a birthday cake or a wedding cake or whatever, or just layer cake. Yeah, I like the phrase limited appeal, but a cake, it does not have limited appeal. Or what kind of cake is ridiculously specific? Uh-oh. Well, we won't. Oops, sorry. We won't. No more details. Yeah, that was my imaginary friend I was talking to. Has no relation to Madness Maker. Yeah, pretty soon there's gonna have to be another level of canceled, because once everyone gets canceled, then they're just gonna have to start again. There'll have to be another way that it'll have to be the banished or the or deplatformed. That's the next step, where you're canceled, so nobody should be listening to you, no one should pay attention, and then you are actually stripped of any way to communicate with the outside world. All right. So what else? What other kind of weird cake? Flourless cake or artificial cake? Just some kind of display. It's got to be something more common, but just weird. Yeah, birthday cake is not. Yeah, limited appeal may not even work. I love that. That phrase is stupid and funny, but it doesn't. It may not work. Something about just annual sales. Oh, just maybe monthly. Yeah, that might be the joke in there. And it's not limited appeal. It had limited utility, limited function. The monthly birthday cake in a box subscription service. Yeah, this is not going anywhere. I needed a stronger gluten-free. Yeah, gluten-free is good. The white box is all the other stuff. It's like the number-shaped candle and the little icing tools and everything. So you've got frosting, and then you've got your little decorative icings. Yeah, it's all that, all the stuff. Yeah, maybe I should actually label that though. That might be funny. Let's remember this. And bold, the bold. And I will use the bold font. Ah. Yeah, there's no, yeah, you can't, there must be a way. But I don't know it. That's a pretty long word though. I guess it'll work. Yeah. Let's see how it fits. Oh, I probably should. Oh no, I'll start here because it'll give me a box. Otherwise, I'll be dealing with like a weird triangle. Bum, bum, bum. So this is the way I put Steve Austin on the lunchbox. I just took all the panels of artwork. So yeah, it's a little long, so it's really distorted. You make it shorter. Well, let's see how this renders out. Or maybe this way. Whoop. I broke it. Yeah, so I put the artwork on the lunchbox. Yeah, there. Maybe this direction is better. It's less distorted. It's actually readable. So just this way. And, you know, my drawings aren't particularly perfect perspective or 3D, so it works out if it's a little wonky. Accessories. Accessorize. Frostin. Accessorize. The missing last letter. Okay, monthly birthday cake in a box subscription service. Seemed decadent. Seemed excessive. Excessive. Yeah, is there a funnier word than excessive? Super abundant. There's my favorite synonym for excessive. Super abundant. Oh man, extortionate. Oh, that's funny. Unnecessary. Yeah. Yeah, seemed a little unnecessary. Yeah, excessive birthday cakes, I think, is a funnier phrase. Excessive but welcomed. Yes. Okay, let's see here. Monthly birthday cake box subscription. I think that's gonna be the best word, other than super abundant. I have to find a way to get super abundant into a joke. That is a really weird word. Okay, I think that works. Seemed excessive. Yeah, that works. Accessorize. Accessory. Okay. Subscription service seemed excessive. And the missing peanut butter was later found trying to make sandwiches with marshmallow fluff. I don't know. Did that mean... What does that mean? Yeah, the idea was he ran away with, but I don't know if that's going to come across. It sounds like a police report. Really like the end of some kind of a dragnet or some procedural kind of, or not procedural, but some kind of police drama. The suspect was later found. When they wrap it all up. Okay, so let's do a quick convenience store. Oh, my background is a little odd. It's still the candy shop, but I think it'll work. And it matches my hoodie, so I'm going to look extra crazy. So let's take a quick look at this. Boom. There we go. Woof. All right. Oh, and it's got green on the package. So, as promised in the Twitter update. So here are onigiri osenbei. So as you know, onigiri, they kind of look like this. Oh, they look more... they don't look like any of these. These are actually the little mascot characters. Whoa, little characters on the package. Here, let me hold it over here. This guy here, he's supposed to just look like the snack itself. But what they're trying to emulate are the rice balls. And the reason that those things are kind of weirdly round triangles is because you cup your hand like this and you make them like this. So your mother usually makes them like this. So if you have a mother with small hands, you get tiny rice balls. And if you have a mother with big hands, then you get nice big ones. Because it's basically, that shape is just made by taking your two cupped hands and doing this. So traditionally you would just put your hands into the rice and do that. And you put something inside the rice. So take kind of two handfuls of rice, put something inside one, and then just do this, and then wrap it with a little piece of seaweed. But the more modern way, because you've got bacteria on your hands, and it shortens the length of time that the rice is good, before it starts to get some weird bacterial smell to it. Now you take saran wrap. You take put a sheet of saran wrap over your hands, and then put rice onto that, and do this into the saran wrap, and then you can just finish wrapping it up, so that you're not touching the rice and leaving whatever is on your hands into that rice ball to sit and ferment until lunchtime. But this is who is this? This is Masia. Masia makes a bunch of snacks. I think mostly like crackers and chips and stuff. Oh, and they even have a little history here. So these are very famous snack. So it's just a rice cracker, an osenbei, which is like a toasted rice cracker that's flavored with shoyu and seaweed, the little nori pieces, and meant to emulate kind of like a cartoon version of a onigiri. Look what you have on the little back here, the little history, and look at that. So yeah, July 1969, the origin of the little onigiri osenbei. So these are pretty famous. And there's the word onigiri there. So these are pretty famous as just kind of the very familiar snack, and they're good too. They're I've had these kind of randomly before. It's something that's like sometimes people are always offering snacks and drinks, like when you visit someone, and so that like the individual packaged versions of this I've had before. So these are soy sauce, so shoyu flavored, so soy sauce flavored. And I think there are just plain ones, and I forget what are there, but there you go. So just like the little guy, so it's just a rice cracker. So, oh, and I noticed too, it's American and domestic, so Japanese rice as well. So they actually credit the origin of the rice, and maybe that's the thing, is American rice is terrible for Japanese. It's not the short sticky rice, it's more the longer rice. But for ingredients like making rice powder and stuff, it's so much cheaper that I think Japan uses a lot of American rice, not to eat directly, but to process, into making, crackers and snacks and stuff. Just like America probably does. I don't think they eat much of their rice either. So yeah, you can see little pieces of nori on there, and then the whole thing is kind of basted in soy sauce. So it's going to be a salty soy sauce and seaweed flavor. Oh, and it's sweet. Not super sweet, but it's like a sweeter soy sauce, not so savory. So kind of, kid friendly. But the soy sauce on it makes it a little sticky, like the texture of it. It's kind of it kind of sticks to your fingers a little bit, but a nice light flavor. And you can see just right inside there, it's just like a white rice cracker. So just like a rice powder that they make into a little shape and then they toast. Basically, it's really interesting to see people hand make, like some places in Kyoto or more older Japan, people will do that. They'll just take a little piece of the rice powdered dough and flatten it out and just put it on a little grill and just with chopsticks just turn it over and then baste it with whatever flavor they're going to do. But the handmade ones, and especially when they're right off of the fire, are really, really amazing. Yeah, really good, very savory and very fresh. These are, of course, factory produced, so more stale and or not stale, more just hard and manufactured. The actual roasted ones are pretty light, but yeah, there's a lot of air in there too. You can see the little pockets. So they're pretty light. Yeah, this is a really, so if you ever have it, ever go to a Japanese snack store or whatever, this is a very standard kind of snack flavor. So even the not, the more traditional, probably more handmade snacks that you can get here, this is a very standard flavor of that. So this is just kind of the commercialized version of that. So a popularized version. So this snack, I think, was brought from China, the rice cracker osenbei, and became really popular in Japan, and they did all their variations of it. And this is a more kind of popularized version, so they take that little character. And yeah, it's a good flavor. It's really light. Like, you can definitely just kind of eat these almost like potato chips, because oh, it's mostly on one side. Look at that. Yeah, it's just, yeah, so it must fall. It must be on the conveyor belt and just be sprinkled from above because it's only on one side. But it's really light, and it's not, the seaweed isn't too much. Sometimes crackers and things with seaweed has like a oceany flavor, or just has a very it pushes the flavor of something, especially like a rice cracker, one way or another. But this is barely noticeable, as though it doesn't have that real seaweed flavor. So it's a nice light blend. Yeah, so I definitely recommend these if you want to try like a very Japanese snack taste, not sweet one. This soy sauce flavored rice cracker is, yeah, exactly what most people think of as snacks. And these are good with beer and stuff too. They're it's not too salty. It doesn't like make you super thirsty. Like, so sometimes beer snacks are a little saltier than this, but this kind of works. Oops, kind of works as that kind of snack too. So something to chew on while you're drinking. But yeah. Yeah, spicy ones. That's right. Oh, Sunday cake. That's funny. Sunday cake is already a thing. All right. So that's what we should do every week: is send somebody a cake. Just like a random person in chat will have them submit their address to send a cake, and we'll send them a cake. Now, I wonder how those arrive. Yeah, so look for those. Oh, yeah, this kind of traditional. So if you could see this is actually green. So this orange and green, the very traditional kind of not really celebration. It's usually red, but kind of a fakey traditional look. So this is like, yeah, 60. I'm just gonna keep eating these. Oh man. Okay, well, let's get my face eating crackers off of the off of the screen. Go back to the drawing. All right, I'll finish this one. Yeah, definitely the I've noticed the rice crackers, as opposed to like the wheat crackers and other thing. These are pretty light, and the calorie wise, I think. Well, the soy sauce doesn't help, but calorie wise, pretty light. So how many? 62 grams. So the whole bag is only 200. Almost. Well, the whole bag is 300 calories. So that's not incredibly terrible. But yeah, the rice crackers, yeah, don't seem to be as punishing as some of the other stuff. that you usually can snack on. All right, I'm finishing this. Oh, so that's it, though. That's right. We finished the writing, so I keep feeling the pressure. Like, I have to finish this because there's something else I need to do. I guess I need to make JPEGs to upload. I see. Yeah, these are not going to help anyone's diet because they're very easy to eat. But I noticed that switching from almost a, rice-only diet is much... You just digest rice and noodles and stuff. In Japan, you digest... I guess it's all rice-based. A lot of it is. You digest that so much faster, and it's a lot lighter and heavier. I've noticed, like, pasta sometimes it hits me hard anymore. So I guess I'm getting too used to kind of Japanese-style noodles. And think because a heavy Italian dinner is like debilitating now compared to, the same kind of thing in Japan. Yeah, rice crackers are so light. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they're unsatisfying because they're light. Like I can understand like a corn chip or potato chips or whatever are a lot more satisfying, and especially when they're super salty, they're easy to, you just kind of keep eating them, and they're fun to drink and eat. It's fun to drink and eat them, but yeah, I don't know. They are sometimes unsatisfying. I think that's why they flavor them. Why they do the shoyu coating and things, because they are pretty light. Oh yeah, Joe, you're right. There are the Japanese snacks boxes. Yeah, but there's a lot of like very mediocre snacks. So, and a lot of them are really really cheap. So that's probably an okay model because you can like pad out a box. You can put a couple of interesting things in there and then kind of pad it out with like cheap rice crackers and stuff. But some of it though, especially in Japan, they don't use a lot of preservatives. So that might make some of those subscription boxes and things a little more difficult. Is they can go stale. Even in the packaging, they can get stale and kind of funny faster than you would expect. Like kind of Western stuff that has a lot of protection, is a heavier bag and has a lot of preservatives in it. And it's funny, even I've heard people say, oh, don't buy this brand or don't buy this brand. They use a lot of chemicals. So it is a very negative thing still in Japan to have a lot of chemicals and things on your, in your bread or, whatever thing you're making, which is, yeah, very funny. But very, yeah, they're very judgmental against, your bread's going to last longer, but it's got, too many chemicals in it. So people are negative about that here. Okay, the missing peanut butter was later found trying to make sandwiches with marshmallow fluff. All right, so something was horribly wrong. Look at me, I'm making JPEGs. Uh-oh, now you're going to know my directory structure for everything. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah, this is all on... Oh, no, you're not seeing it. Oh, good, it's on another screen. You're only seeing Photoshop. Yay. Okay. All right. So let me just save these real quick. Because I have done live streams and drawn the cartoons and then completely forgotten to upload them. That has happened more than once, sadly. All right. How about A? Might be better, right? A than the a monthly birthday cake in a box. Yeah. There'll be more than one, so. Yeah. One of those cake services seemed excessive. But There we go. So there's the black void of. Oh, K5. Take it easy. Yeah, good night, and thanks for hanging out. I should have gone to bed 30 minutes ago. I keep rambling on and keeping you up. You're never going to get anything done the next day. Yeah, take it easy. Nice. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, if you remember the rapper or can find something online, I might be able to find that. Yeah, there's some really good, yeah. Pear flavor here is because the pears are different. They're round. They're not the European pear shape. But they're really light. Yeah, they're closer to like a sweet apple flavor. It's different. It's just different. But yeah, it's really good. Nice. Oh damn, 4:30 a.m. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, let's wrap it up. Damn, I thought I was up. Whoop. There we go. I thought I was up late. All right. Well, that will do it for this week. And yeah, oh, I just watched Drive again. I just thought of a movie thing. I just watched Drive again the other day. I forgot how much I like that movie. The tone of that movie is really great. I don't like the fact that people are only talking about, oh, that's a really well represented autistic character, like character on the spectrum. Like, okay, that's not the most important part, but people are still, I guess, looking for the to identify and collect their army of autistic characters in media. But it's good. I really like how that movie is told, and it's like surprisingly violent, but handled well. It like punctuates things really well. There's like really sudden, like crazy violence, but most of the story is very calm and understated. All right, so that'll do it for this week. Oh, Joe says keep going. Damn, yeah, that's right. Much easier for yeah, and that's the thing. It is much easier to stay in touch with West Coast. I thought of that too when I was doing the long distance thing with my wife now. If I wouldn't have been in California, it would have been really impossible for us to be in touch because the times are so off. It's always like 3 in the morning for someone when the other person is awake. So it's very miserable. But she had a good schedule too, though, so she could stay up pretty late. She like worked afternoons, so that was easy. Nice. Yeah, Drive. Yeah, we should. We should. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Yeah, it's really good. And even if you don't like the main actor, I should have just brought this up somewhere so I could actually refer to it. Even if you're not a huge fan of. So it's the director Nicholas Winding Refn. So very stylized. The movie itself is awesome. And so who is it? It's Ryan Gosling. That's right. I couldn't think of his name. So even if you're not a huge Ryan Gosling fan, he does a good job. It's similar. The performance is actually kind of similar to to Blade Runner, to the Blade Runner 2049. Just he's real, like very subtle, very small, emotion and everything, except for some certain scenes, like he'll get angry or something. But it's very, very specific and very tiny. But yeah, if you haven't seen Drive, you should definitely do it. I like it better than. Oh, I shouldn't say this to Yum. I shouldn't say this around Yum, but I like that Driver character, the Ryan Gosling character in Drive. I like better than Baby Driver. I'm not crazy about that character. I mean, I enjoyed that movie, but I didn't like that actor and I didn't like that character so much. And I'm sorry because I think Yum is a fan of that director, but. And there's not really a lot of heist in Drive. It's more just a smaller character movie. But yeah, it's it's interesting, and it also has that. The cast is amazing though, because it's Bryan Cranston is in it, Christina Hendricks, Ron Perlman, and Albert Brooks. So like everybody that's in there is very recognizable. There's no like kind of unknowns. And the girlfriend, or the I'm sorry, the neighbor, is played by Carey Mulligan. So it's everybody's really recognizable, and their performances are all really good. Especially Albert Brooks, because I just think of him from his comedy films, like '80s comedies, and to see him playing kind of a mafia tough, but he's still Albert Brooks. Like his acting and everything is still the character you saw in all of the Albert Brooks movies of like the late '70s and '80s. But there's something really vicious and really deadly like underneath that personality. So it's very good. And even Ron Perlman is a weird does a good and kind of weird performance, because he's playing supposed to be playing a very scary kind of heavy guy, but he has he kind of reveals why he does that. He reveals why he's such a hard ass and why he's so miserable, because he doesn't feel like he gets respect. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, yeah, definitely it's definitely worth it. It's got a nice, and they do that kind of, it's got that synth wave kind of '80s, retro, and even the logo for the film is that pink that pink script that just identifies very '80s. But the thing that I've noticed about synthwave is it's like a weird memory. It's almost like, when I'm trying to draw stuff that I don't remember like really what it looks like in the cartoons and kind of approximating it. It's a weird approximation of the '80s. The '80s never sounded like that. The technology was totally different. It was all components. It was all you know the digital music was not, think about what computers were like in the '80s. It wasn't garage band, or the software that they were using, I think, gave it a different sound. And like the samples that are used now, or how they're producing the synth sound is different. So it's much smoother and has a different tone to it that isn't, it's reminiscent, like it suggests the '80s. It's kind of like homage, or something that's just I'm trying to think, like it's tributing that kind of tone in the sound, but it's wrong. It's different. Just like how like Stranger Things, or some of the things that are imitating '80s, E.T. and Goonies and stuff, the Spielberg kind of kids movies, they miss it. They don't get it right. They're a little too dark and a little too like it's out of context, so they don't quite understand. They're paying tribute to it, but it's the same thing with a lot of synthwave music. It's people that were born in the '90s or 2000s making trying to make '80s music, and it's just different. Oh yeah, take it easy, Cat Queen. Thanks for hanging out. uh yeah, yeah, but we should well, yeah, it's fun to talk about movies. I think it should be a separate thing, though. That might make more sense, so people know what to expect, because I felt like I was just kind of wedging it in there. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching. Good performances. It's a really good cast, and very oh, and Oscar Isaac is in it too. So many recognizable actors doing like really good performances. And so he does his usual kind of creepy, menacing thing, but he's so tiny. He's like tiny, menacing Oscar Isaac. But all right. So I'll wrap it up. I think people are home now. So yeah, the first day back to school is over. Yeah, so crazy. But anyhow, nice. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. I'll always make sure I try to, if anything I've seen is good, and I try not to watch, I try not to get caught up in any Netflix garbage or anything. And I think Netflix is even starting, like the algorithm is starting to be careful with me and not suggest a lot of their ridiculous stuff, because it's mostly it's mostly recommending like old 70s and 80s movies to me now. So finally Netflix is has figured me out. But yeah, but Drive is it's really good. And I'm curious, so Yum, if you see it, I think it would be fun to talk about your interpretation of it, because I think there's a they play with reality and unreality, fantasy. So there's a reality and fantasy thing, and because like if you see him in terms of autistic, or at least internal, so he might have ideas or dreams about what should happen, or what a hero does, or what a boyfriend, a romantic boyfriend does. He has these ideas about how things should be, but it doesn't come out like how he's very very socially awkward, and how things come out are kind of weird and wrong. So I'm curious, that it affects your interpretation of the ending. So what actually happens to the main character at the end is a little bit up into interpretation, because you've seen things that may or may not be true. It may be kind of his ideal. So he's a little bit unreliable, I guess, as a main character, because there's a couple of like light changes and tone changes. You're like, wait, is this okay? Is it happening? Because it suggests that it may just be his hope of how life should work out, or how a person should act. Cool. Yeah. So check it out. It's definitely worth it. And it was on what did I was just watching it on Amazon, I think. I think it was free on Amazon here. And it doesn't that's totally useless for you, because the services are totally different, like the catalogs. So all the rights are different. But yeah, it should be floating around on some streaming service. But cool. Yeah, I would recommend that movie. All right. So yeah. So take care. Yeah, take care, Joe. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's really fun. Really fun to do this every week and kind of go through everything. And it was good to see Madness Maker again. It's been a long time. So I hope everything is going well for you, and I'll look for you on chat. Try to catch up. And hear what you are up to. All right, so everybody, sorry about the weird Photoshop today. The drawing ended up a little strange because of the the lack of a tablet. Yeah, so this is what I'm drawing on, but when I draw on it, it is here. It only interacts with this monitor, so I think I need to update the driver, because Windows did something. Windows and Wacom do not get along at all. It's been nothing but like conflicts and weird stuff. I guess because Microsoft has their own ideas about what they want to do for tablets and styluses and touch screens and stuff. But anyhow, oh nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, take care. Anthony, take care. And yes, it's all Windows fault. Everything that's gone wrong in my life is probably due to Windows. But I will, I'll be back next week. So abusecartoons.com is the website. And then, like I showed on the comments, gocomics.com/domestic abuse is the archive. And that goes all the way to 2002. It starts with them, I think, 2004 is when things first started getting uploaded. And on Twitter, and then also there's a Facebook page that gets the updates and things. And also, you can find the live stream there. And so the live stream happens every week at this time, and it's on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can subscribe any of those places to get notifications, and then also take a look at, like I posted the link, the podcast for Nmity Stories, the AI voiced stories, and listen to the most recent one, because it's a real voice and it's really good. It's a really good performance. So I will be back next week at the same time. So thanks so much for watching. Oh, and if you want to support the cartoon, there is a Patreon. So patreon.com/abusecartoons. And that helps me keep at it. And if I get to a certain level, I'm going to try to do more live streams. But as of right now, it's a very modest Patreon. So please, consider backing that there. So everybody take care and have a good week. We'll be back again and do this again, and watch Drive if you get a chance. We can talk about that next week. It's it's a good film, good simple kind of classic, almost noir story. So take care and keep safe. We'll do this again soon. So thanks again for everybody. Joe, K5, Mandus Maker, Yum, Cat Queen, everybody. There was a Pizza Man, everybody whose names made me think of pizza. We'll do this again soon. Goodbye.